take you downstairs ringside to Big George Foreman, Larry Merchant, and our anchor, Jim Lampley.
Thank you very much, James Brown, and we're ready now for potentially 10 rounds of action in women's boxing between the woman who made the first big splash in the sport, Christy Martin, who became famous fighting on the undercards of Mike Tyson fights in the middle of the 90s, and her opponent, Kathy Collins, is regarded as someone with a chance to give Martin only the third loss of her career. So it's Christy Martin against Kathy Collins with boxing analyst Larry Merchant. Let's first take a closer look at Christy.
Just to remind the viewers of Christy's background, she was a coal miner's daughter from West Virginia, went to a small college on a basketball scholarship, Concordia, got involved in a tough gal contest, loved that more than basketball, became a prize fighter. Tonight she will make the biggest purse in the history of women's boxing, $250,000.
Christy Martin now fighting out of Orlando, Florida. Her opponent across the ring from Huntington on Long Island, Kathy Collins. Again with Larry, a closer look.
Kathy Collins says that she got her inspiration as a child who was abused, made her a very aggressive person, went to nursing school, blew up to 240 pounds, went to a gymnasium to train down, married her trainer, and tonight she'll be getting her biggest purse, $65,000. The big time for the ladies, Jim.
Fighting in the women's junior welterweight division, and we take a look at the tail of the tape for Christy Martin and Kathy Collins. Christy Martin says that at age 32, she does not feel the biological time clock ticking as a boxer, but she thinks she might like to have children, and she is interested in that number. Kathy Collins, 2 years younger at 30. They're both 5'5". They have equal reach at 64 inches apiece. Christy Martin weighed in at 144. Kathy Collins, 1 3/4 pounds lighter at 142 1/4. Judging criteria with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Okay, Jim, keep in mind that the Christy Martin-Kathy Collins fight is only 2-minute rounds. It's only 2 minutes in women's boxing. It goes quickly. The 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each round are clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean punching in professional boxing. Jim.
All right, thank you, Harold. Now let's go up to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to the world's most famous arena. We're in Madison Square Garden in New York City. And we have a big night of action coming away, and it's all brought to you by Don King Productions in association with Madison Square Garden, TVKO, and Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, the officials as appointed. We have timekeeper at the bell, Kathy Fiorillo. Judging at ringside from Newark, New Jersey, we have Larry Hazzard Jr. From Brick, New Jersey, Tom Kaczmarek. From Brookfield, Connecticut, Frank Lombardi. And the third man of the ring, our referee in charge of this bout, Steve Smoger. All right, fans, here we go with the women's junior welterweight special attraction scheduled for 10 2-minute rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my left. She is fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing black and red trunks and hailing from Huntington, New York. She weighed in at 142 1/4 pounds with a fine record of 14 wins, 1 loss, and 3 draws. She has 3 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the IWBF champion, introducing Kathy, the Wildcat Collins. And presenting her opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the red corner in this 10-round attraction, entering the ring wearing her traditional pink trunks with white trim, fighting out of Orlando, Florida by way of West Virginia. She weighed in at 144 pounds. With an outstanding record of 42 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws, she has 31 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the WBA and WBC Women's Champion, known as the Coal Miner's Daughter, introducing Christy Martin. Once again, Steve Smoger, our referee in charge.
You were given your instructions at the weigh-in, which is obey my commands at all times, respect the bone, above all, protect yourself. This is a good shot right here. And Christy, ladies, touch him up. Touch him up. Very good. Very good.
Christy Martin has been in a lot of wars. This is her 47th professional fight. Her husband and trainer, Jim Martin, took me aside after our fighter meetings yesterday and said, I'm very concerned about this fight.
Husband and trainer is a common phrase in women's boxing. Kathy Collins is also married to her trainer. His name is Dom Marino. And as we watch the fight, we're joined not only by two-time heavyweight champion Big George Foreman, TVKO boxing expert, but also by unbeaten woman boxing star Lucia Riker, who would love to fight the winner, Lucia. Not nearly as well known among the general public as is Christy Martin, but regarded by a lot of ringside experts as the best woman fighter in the world. Lucia, how well do you know these two fighters, and what do you expect from the fight?
Well, I know Kathy Collins, her amateur career, and I know she really paid her dues climbing up to becoming a professional. I don't think she has as much experience as Christy, and I think that'll be a setback in this fight.
Indeed, Christy, with 46 professional fights, an unparalleled record among women boxers. She's had a lot of opportunities.
Pick him up, Dave. Pick him up.
Jim, for the first time, I feel like the good old boys is going down the drain. We got help for a change.
Well, Christy Martin's purse, $250,000, sufficient to indicate the level of public esteem to which women's boxing, at least in her instance, has risen. There's a good straight right hand by Martin. So far, both women working conventionally behind the jab, and now Christy lands another solid right hand. But Collins comes in and smashes Martin with a left hook of her own. Is this a more conservative Christy Martin than we normally see, Lucia?
No, not at all. I think she takes her time to set it up and to block her with that right hand.
So the first 2-minute round comes to a close, a scheduled 10, and we go to the corners.
Perfect round. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. She might bounce around like that, all of a sudden they jump in and try to get 6 punches off. Right.
Lucia, very quickly while they go through the corner routine here, you yourself have not had a professional prize fight since August of 1999.
That's right.
I'm sure you still regard yourself as active as ever, right?
I'm always active in the gym. I mean, I shot a movie last year for 5 months in Montreal, which was really challenging physically, but more mentally, which got me even more ready for this big fight that I'm looking at, because it's all mental. Physically, for me, it's just a piece of cake. I've been fit my whole life since I was 15, so training is easy for me.
You'd like to fight the winner of this fight, right?
I'd like to fight Christy.
You'd like to fight Christy. And how confident are you of getting a shot at it?
We're pretty close. We've been talking to King, and we got very close to a deal. Probably we're looking at December.
A fight long time in the making, but greatly to be hoped for. Christy Martin against Lucia Riker. Of course, step one, Martin needs to get past Kathy Collins, the woman who's in front of her here. In round one, by CompuBox numbers, Martin 13 out of 42, Collins 6 out of 35. George, what do you see so far?
Well, I see Collins throwing a right hand occasionally, and that can pay a toll if this fight continues on for 3 or 4 rounds. The big punches not like to get hit a lot, especially around the chest and the side. What do you think about that? Does it really take away from being hit in the chest by women?
It throws on the breast, you mean? On the breast, you don't really feel. On the chest, it can throw you off balance. But the breast, I don't think, it never really bothered me.
Okay. I've always wanted to ask that question.
And you did.
I talked to a doctor about that, actually, because they're doing some research on breast protection. So it's really interesting that I don't have any background on whether it is dangerous for women to get hit in the breast or not.
Okay, good news.
Christy Martin still throwing 1-2 combinations. Kathy Collins' most effective punch has been the left hook. She's landed it upstairs a couple of times when Martin dropped her right.
The last time that Christy Martin fought, she was extended And I think she's been all too conservative this time to make sure that she has something if this fight continues on for a few rounds, I think.
I think she's going to think it's going to go the distance, so she doesn't want to get tired.
Both women working the jab in this round. Christy Martin got there first with the right hand, a little short with the left hook coming back. Crowd getting into the fight. Already in the early undercard bouts, they've shown themselves to be a tremendously lively crowd. There's a big right hand by Christy Martin, and round 2 comes to a close.
Okay, relax, 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 stay relaxed. Be alert on defense, Kat, all right? You stay in a distance, and then when she comes in, you go first, all right? 3-3, quick 3-3, all right? Relax, you're doing all right. You're doing, where's the ball? Okay. Deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Now you got to throw more combination, all right, Kat?
One through it. She got right eyes all shot red. Left eye. Get your distance, get your distance. Keep that jab in her face, power jabs. Make them quick.
Kathy Collins says that one of her greatest assets is a great Irish jaw. And Christy Martin tested that jaw a couple of times in this round.
Kathy Collins says to us that in 18 prize fights, he has not been knocked down. Jabs through the second round. Martin landing hers with much greater consistency, 15 out of 47. Collins only 3 out of 40. She's been short with the jab most of the way.
I would like to see Kathy to commit to her punches more.
I mean, she takes them out, bring them back.
She's waiting too long. She's letting Christy make the fight.
Okay.
She should start sooner. Be more aggressive and commit to the right hand.
But she has the same strength in her shoulders as Christy Martin. There's no need in her being reluctant.
One thing that Collins has done in this fight, more than you usually see in women's prize fighting, is she's thrown more body punches.
She is doing a good job of throwing body.
But nobody is better schooled as a women's boxer as Christy Martin, as her experience has shown.
She has double the record, 3.5 times the record that Kathy has. So I think it's very courageous of Kathy to take this fight.
Well, Kathy said she's been boxing 7 years to get to this moment, training her sights on the possibility of having this fight. And I think since she waited so long, Lucia, she ought to get farther inside and try to rough Christy up more.
Well, you can't underestimate the punches of Christy, because Christy does commit. And what also happens when you're a female fighter and you're good, a lot of people around you hype you. They're like, you can do it, but they don't see that Christy has 3 times the experience that Kathy has.
Kathy Collins has landed 3 or 4 very hard punches in the last 30 seconds.
Right hand.
Big right hand.
But Martin looking not too much the worse for wear as they go back to the corners again.
Third round.
Got to step in a little bit with the jab, okay?
More than the jab. Sit there right hand. I'll be a little closer to you, okay? A couple more rounds and put the heat on it, okay? We'll run her out of there, okay?
Let me have it. All right, breathe deep.
Good, good.
Breathe deep.
Bend your knees on the inside. You let her get lower than you are, right?
Yep. Look at my face, Miguel.
Don't bleed as much move out there, but you have to, okay? It's not bleeding or nothing. Hurt you today?
No.
Good job.
Sécale los guantes, esto.
Looking good. I want you to
Hands high, all right? Mouthpiece.
Now, Lucia, we want to hear your version of the altercation that you had with Christy Martin. She says you sucker punched her and you wound up on the floor. What happened?
Hard right hand by Collins. Go ahead, Lucia.
I went to see a public training and I should never have been there, because the moment she saw me, she started screaming at me. And the moment she shoved me, I had a reflex with a left hook. After that, she jumped me, run me into a machine, and then I got jumped by 10 of her bodyguards when we were rolling on the floor. It was really like the Midwest.
This was a gym in Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
All right, Harold Letterman, how do you have it scored through 3?
Okay, Jim, I got a 3-0, 30-27, Christy Martin. Jim, I'm just impressed by Christy's flat-footed punching. In other words, she's landing the power shots. Kathy Collins doing too much running, not getting much power, so she's backing up. So far, Christy Martin 3-0 based on the fact that she's landing more power shots.
I gave the last round to Kathy Collins.
Because of those good right hands.
Yeah, she landed 3 or 4 real hard punches in the last 30 seconds of that round.
Lucia Riker, the 2-minute time limit for women's rounds, reminds me that before 1984, the Track and Field Federation didn't think that women could complete a marathon. Would you rather be fighting 3-minute rounds and do?
I think the new generation should get ready for the 3 rounds. Because women's boxing is so new, we still get accustomed to it, and the longer the rounds, the more sluggish the fights will look. So to keep the pace up, I think the 2 minutes are good.
Could you fight 3-minute rounds?
Sure, I would.
All right, as round 4 winds down here between Christy Martin and Kathy Collins, we're going to bid farewell with a big thank you to superstar Lucia Riker, who favored us with her commentary here for the first 4 rounds. Lucia, best of luck.
Thank you so
much. I hope you get a chance to fight the winner.
Me too. Thanks. Thanks for having me, George. Thanks for
Go get him, champ. See you next time.
Ooh, hard left hook by Christy Martin after a sizzling left hook by Collins to end the round. And coming up next, you'll see welterweights Vernon Forrest and Raul Frank. Forrest and Frank, who had a no contest last August, have been preparing for a year to fight against each other. They hope to finally get it done tonight.
Rhythm now, all right? You can start counter punching. When you go first, you look good. She look bad. That's what you gotta do. Safe distance, you go. All right, Kat? You're doing good.
Your defense is so
Here's your water.
beautiful. You are lovely. You are the best. You are the best.
Right.
You keep doing it. You don't let up.
And combination.
Oh, right the body.
Mr. Robe, she seems usually slide off this way.
Right the body.
Look at the chin. The chin. Don't just throw. Look at the chin.
Round 5 of a scheduled 10. Christy Martin, coal miner's daughter, in the pink trunks and singlets. And in the red and black outfit, that's Kathy Collins. Harold Letterman's guard visible to you at this point. Power punches landed through round 4. Christy Martin, according to CompuBox numbers, has landed 40-20 for Kathy Collins. Collins has had some big right-hand shots, and she was just a tiny bit short with another one right there.
You can't clown with Collins, evidently.
No.
Christy Martin is doing a good job of boxing tonight. Not only is she throwing power shots, but she's doing a double jab, triple jab, all of the things you need to do as a boxer.
I think this is the most complete performance I've seen from Christy Martin.
Yeah, she's not charging in like the Raging Bull or Raging Cow.
Raging Cow. I can't wait to
They
see
will
that.
get you too. I live on a ranch and the cows will attack also.
Raging Cow. I love it.
Collins has the best right hand tonight. She's been going right on top. Ooh, that body
Hard
shot.
right to the body by Martin. 2 more body shots. A left hook. Sensational rally right there by Christy Martin.
Go for neck, work out, that's it.
Now Collins going to the body as she pins Christy against the ropes. Very physical fight.
Been real effective with those right overhand right Collins has. Now she needs to continue that. Something is working. Don't worry about going to the body. Keep doing what you're doing.
Lead right hand from Martin. Hitting to the left hook to the body. Good stuff in round 5.
Oh, she can do it no more. Heads off here. Heads off for this guy. He's gonna quit.
How you feel?
Good.
Heads off for this guy. Breathe deep.
You'll never forget your jab. Work in behind that jab. Everything's coming off good. The straight right hand's coming off good. I want a right hand on that chin.
Let me have your face.
That's what his spin right there.
Let me have your face.
Beautiful spin. That's what he stay low. Perfect ground. Good deep grip.
Bend your knees when you...
Here's your water.
Good, Tom. Give me
You
one.
gotta work hard. Extra effort, extra combination.
This is
extra
where you
punches,
show you
all right?
want it.
Here we see Kathy Martin, who is just such a good-schooled, well-schooled fighter. The right intuitions, comes back with combination punches. I've watched her work in the gym, and you don't see many fighters of any gender work as hard or as proficiently at her craft. Not as strong as men, obviously, but she knows how to fight.
Body punching that Christy Martin is doing probably is going to be our salvation if this fight continues for a few rounds. It's going to take all of the energy out of him. This
Collins.
Martin ducking and slipping inside and then missing with the big right hand.
When you're fighting a puncher, you want to make certain that a puncher throw away a lot of those energies. Make them miss. Make them throw that energy away. Make them miss.
Kathy Collins has been effective at that in this round, although in the last round, as we saw by CompuBox numbers, Martin landed more than half her punches.
You've got to hit her, move out of the way, hit her, move out of the way until make her try to hit you back.
Well, when she was here with us, Lucia Riker said that she thought Martin believed the fight was going to go the distance and was pacing herself for that assignment. Now they complete the 6th of a scheduled 10 rounds. Meanwhile, about an hour ago, Felix Trinidad pulled into Madison Square Garden. The crowd has been chanting his name relentlessly during the early fights. Tito not yet in the arena when thousands here began chanting, Tito, Tito, Tito. Rest assured you'll hear the crescendo during the big fight later on. And here is middleweight titleist William Joppy, whose crown will be on the line tonight in this second of the 3 fights which make up the middleweight world championship unification series.
Put your head in your chest. Use those strong legs that God bless you with.
3-3 and 50-50. All right, Kat? Don't forget the 8-8. Let it go.
You hear him? You hear him? Good. You heard it. All right.
Kathy Collins' left eye beginning to swell, as you saw in that shot in round 6 by CompuBox estimation. Collins had a 10-9 edge in power punches connected, one of her better rounds so far.
Her corner is urging her basically to go to war, to get inside on Christy Martin, because the fight is slipping away.
Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, I got it 6-0, 60-54, Christy Martin. You know, Jim, Kathy Collins is throwing a light left jab, moving in and out, but really not doing much damage. She just, when she lands a shot, she runs away. Christy Martin, on the other hand, flat-footed, the most of the power shots. So far, I think she's gotten the best of them in virtually all the rounds.
Collins landed a right hand.
And a hook also. Made Christy Martin smile a little bit. We know what that means.
Yeah, we saw Lennox Lewis grinning like that down in Johannesburg on the first Rockman right hand. About 20 seconds before the second one iced him. Martin came back with a barrage of body shots after taking the right hand from Kathy Collins. Now Christy goes back upstairs.
Collins is getting a little confident now, putting a little power, a little body into those hooks.
Even though Harold Lathan had Christy Martin winning each of the first 6 rounds, Kathy Collins has been effective from time to time with the right hand. Larry Merchant, let's take a look at a package of Kathy Collins' right hands.
There you see in close the right hand. She's not a big puncher. Very few women are big punchers when they're fighting well-conditioned opponents, but she's getting the right hand in cleanly. Kathy Martin is an aggressive fighter.
Christy Martin.
Christy Martin. Thank you, Jim. And she is open for the right hand when she comes in.
Oh, here's your watch. Look at her, Christy. Look at the way she's steady. Wow, she's very now.
CompuBox numbers in round 7 showed both fighters landing 13 power shots. Martin 13 out of 26, Collins 13 out of 28.
In Martin's corner, they're saying that Kathy Collins was crying in her corner.
Sometimes that's the best thing for a fighter to do is to cry.
There's no crying in boxing, George.
Oh yes, you better cry sometimes. It's easier to cry and say I gotta get them than to say I'll quit.
Round 7 was the first one that Harold Lathan has given to Kathy Collins. Collins chopping away with the right hand here as round 8 progresses. Bout is scheduled for 10 rounds. Christy Martin has never had a knockout past the 7th.
There goes the right hand. See the tears? It'll make you fight. Sometimes you cry because you can't do anything else. You know you're going to continue to fight, although you're being hurt.
In golf, you can often tell how good a player is just by the way he sets up over the ball. Kathy Collins has a great setup. She looks like a pro when she gets into her stance and gets ready to fire the jabs.
Boy, she's going to the body with left hooks. Kathy goes to the body real good. Now there's a right hand.
Both fighters seem to be tiring a bit as we come to the closing stages of round 8 and the tempo slows.
Another right hand by Collins.
Kathy Collins able to land her right hand pretty frequently.
Oh, the combination.
And draw blood. Kathy Martin.
Christy Martin.
Christy Martin is bleeding from the nose. Not an uncommon sight when she fights.
Both women gasping for breath a little bit as round 8 is completed. 2 more rounds to go.
On the inside. Don't worry about it. You right?
Yeah.
You tell her she
All right, Kat?
Your legs are strong.
Okay, here's your water.
Baby, you almost home.
Here's your water.
You are
All you
almost
gotta
home.
do is work. Get those hands busy, all right?
We always finish strong.
Simple.
no pressure, honey.
Keep your chin down. Punch that clock.
I'll repeat. Keep those hands down.
Christy Martin's bloody nose may have been caused by the head first, followed by a straight left hand.
Round 9 out of 10. Kathy Collins in the red and black. Christy Martin in pink.
Both fighters are in extremely good condition.
Aren't they, though?
Still throwing with the same power they had in the first couple of rounds.
And still with the head movement, the upper body feints, the footwork. They're conditioned to go
that was that right hand.
And Christy Martin again grinning after taking a hard right hand shot.
Don't touch, don't touch.
Kathy Collins may wind up wishing this were a 12-round fight.
There's the excellent left jab by Christy Martin again. Starts the round out with a good left jab and finish it up midway and at the end. Christy Martin steps in with that hard left jab. This time Collins caught her with a counter right hand on top of that jab.
Don't punch. Step out, step out.
Martin winging shots from both sides. Some of them blocked, some of them getting through to the rib cage. Now Collins comes forward, firing upstairs. Martin grinning again, trying to duck and feint.
Good right hand again by Collins. Whenever she wants, she can dig up a good right hand.
Eighth round?
Breathe through your mouth.
Oh, 10th round, you're right.
Breathe through your mouth.
We need this round, okay?
Breathe through your mouth.
Yeah, I mean,
Go on the round. Go on the round with you, baby.
Come on, fine, if it happens again, all right? Yeah. Keep her a distance, you go first. Keep her a distance, you go first, all right? 50-50, 3-3, all right? 8-8, you go.
give yourself enough room to left hook. Listen to you. She's gonna come out here on right hand, so I want you to do the same thing.
Last one, last one.
Okay.
No water, hey.
What you got to score, Miguel?
Last one.
You got it.
You heard it, Kathy. Last one.
You don't stop till you
Last
break it off.
one, all right?
Take it, baby.
There is either an abrasion or a slight cut over the left eye of Kathy Collins. This has been a fiercely contested, well-fought women's fight.
By CompuBox numbers in round 9, Collins had a 12-5 edge in power connects. Martin landed her jab more frequently. Harold, how do you have it going to the last round?
Okay, Jim, I got an 88-83, 7 rounds to 2. Christy Martin. Jim, as I see this fight, Kathy just didn't stand the fight enough. I mean, you know, she'd stick out that light left jab and move. If she'd stand there and throw that right hand, a good left hook a little more, maybe she had a chance of out-banging Christy. But basically, when she did, she got nailed by that Christy Martin overhand right and that vicious Christy Martin left hook. Christy's a terrible hard puncher, flat-footed, always in good position to throw a power punch, and she's been landing them and winning the fight.
I have it 6 rounds to 3.
Christy Martin can also take a good punch.
Yeah, because the biggest punch of this round was a hard left hook by Kathy Collins.
She's been a harder puncher throughout the fight. Christy Martin's just turned the other cheek.
Get out, turn around, turn around. Hands up, please. Don't punch, don't punch. All right, ladies, step out.
Well, Larry, I agree with you. The great step forward we've seen tonight here for women's boxing is the body punches thrown on both sides.
Well, they're becoming more sophisticated fighters over time. And
Don't punch, step.
hopefully we'll see Christy fight.
Hands up.
We'll see a Riker someday. She talks about fighting Muhammad Ali's daughter, Layla, because she's better known. Talks about fighting Mia St. John because she's been promoted a great deal. But says she wants to hang the gloves up by the end of the year and start having a family.
And the bout ended with Collins driving Martin into the ropes, and as the bell sounded, Christy just threw her off, as if to say, well, I've had enough of you. We'll see in a moment what the official decision brings. Final CompuBox numbers, a numerical profile of the fight that you just saw. Martin landing 174 out of 462. Collins 105 of 370 by CompuBox numbers. So overall, Martin throwing more, landing more, and landing at a higher connect percentage that usually translates to victory. Jabs, and in the closing rounds, the jab was Christy's best weapon as Collins began to get it cranked up with power punches. 23 out of 156 is not good, and it indicates that maybe Collins should have tried to get a little closer during the bout.
Oh, they're not doing it either.
The win was unreal. Look good, you look good, you look good.
I never picked it up like I should have.
Yeah, the win was unreal.
Well, you heard Christy Martin's one critical comment for herself. I never picked it up the way I should have. Looking back, she must feel as though she could have put more pressure on in the late rounds.
Beautiful job. Thank you for working. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice people, Christy and her husband. Fun people to talk to. Same with Kathy and her group. And now let's go to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. and hear who won the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards with a majority decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Frank Lombardi, scores at 95-95, even a draw. Overruled by judges, Tom Kaczmarek, who scores at 97-93. Larry Hazzard Jr. sees it 98-92 in favor of the winner, the coal miner's daughter, Christy Martin.
Some of the crowd not in agreement with the decision that gives Christy Martin the 43rd win of her career against 2 losses and 2 draws, and maybe somewhere down the road, Layla Ali, or perhaps Lucia Riker, Mia St. John, some of the other bigger names in women's boxing. Now let's go back upstairs to our host, James Brown.